my name's Ellie and I'm Stitching Bee here on Flosstube and also over on Instagram. Welcome to my channel all about cross stitch, crafty bargains and bees. It's lovely to be back with you all again. I cannot believe we're now in March. I don't know where the time has gone, but the sun has started to come out today in Glasgow, which is lovely, and it feels like spring is on the way. So definitely looking forward to that arriving. So anyway, welcome to Flosstube episode number 24. I feel like I've not filmed a video in ages, but it really was only a month ago that I did my update for January. So as always, this is going to be my update for February. I have got loads to share with you and I'm so excited to talk through lots of different things. I have got 4 FFOs to show you, which were all new starts in February, so that's quite exciting. I've also got 2 whips to show you, one of which is my wedding welcome sign, which I've made quite a bit of progress on. I've also got my top 10 picks for Nashville Needlework Market, which, oh, it's exciting. I thought I won't be buying anything from Nashville Needlework Market. I'm going to be good this year. And then I did a kind of basket and 1, 2, 3 stitch, and I was like, oh, yes, maybe I do have a few things I'd quite like to buy. So I've picked 10 of my favourites to share with you. I've also got some cross-stitch freebies to share. Again, I had to narrow that down because there was loads of them. There's been some really wonderful ones for spring and for Valentines and things like that. So I've got 5 different designers that have all released freebies. So I'm going to show those. I've also got lots of haul. I've gone a bit on a Dimensions frenzy because I'm aware that Dimensions have kind of stopped trading now. I think their business has gone into liquidation, so I've been trying to get my hands on all the kits that I can to complete my collection. So I've got that in the haul section. I've also got plans. I've got a stitch along that I'm going to be part of, so I'll talk to you more about that. And yeah, I've got a couple of mentions along the way. So much to show and share. So grab a beverage as always and we'll get started. So as always, I will start with my statistics for February. So in total, I stitched for 20 days in February. I had 4 new starts, which all became FFOs. So I've got 4 FFOs to share and I have worked on 2 whips. So yeah, let's get started. The first FFO I have to share with you, I don't actually have physically because I gifted it, so I'll just put pictures in as I talk about it, but I can show you the pattern here of what the original piece was supposed to look like and then how I've changed it a little. So the first one is called Freesia the Cactus, and this is a design from Fuzzy Fox Designs, which I purchased from Etsy, and I believe you can get all of these lovely cactus designs in a kind of big piece where they're all stitched together, but I've just decided to do these little cactus designs individually because, as I say, I wanted to do them as little gifts. So this one's really sweet, and I will now put a picture in of what my fully finished object looks like. So this I stitched for my lovely friend Jess, who I'm actually going to shout out on here as well. She has an Instagram page for all her kind of painting and home and decor and things around her beautiful house. Her Instagram handle is Petite Paints, so definitely go and have a look at that if you're interested in that kind of vibe. It's a beautiful Instagram page to look at, and it's yeah, it's really idyllic and lovely, so go and check out Petite Paints. But anyway, sidebar. So this is the piece I stitched for her moving into her new house, and I wanted to finish it in a kind of fun and, you know, cute way that she could display, and she hasn't got the best track record with houseplants, so I know traditionally you maybe give someone a plant as a housewarming gift, so I thought probably best to avoid that and I'll just send her a cross-stitch cactus instead. So that's exactly what I did. So to fully finish this piece, oh, I should probably say what I stitched it on first. So I stitched it on a 32 count pink marble even weave by Zweigart, and I used DMC threads, and I think I changed the colour. Oh no, I kept the same colour flowers and things like that, and then used a nice kind of turquoisey blue backing fabric, but also put the fabric as a kind of border around the piece as well. And then I put some chenille trim around the edge just to kind of cover up the join, just because I felt it lacked something. So added that on. And then I had my first attempt at ribbon ruching as a border. And I was pretty annoyed at it to begin with. It wasn't the easiest thing to do, and I watched a few YouTube tutorials which really did help, and now I can do it, and it was actually fine. It was just that initial bit, so it was hard to get started, but I think it really has a lovely effect. So it's just literally ribbon around the edge, and you just kind of scrunch it up a little bit and put a stitch in, scrunch it up a bit, put a stitch in, and just continue doing that all the way around the edge. But I think it really adds something to the piece, and it's just like a nice different border to use, as opposed to like a pom-pom trim or chenille or you know, rick-rack or anything like that. So I thought I'd give it a go, and I'm actually really happy with how it turned out, and Jess really liked it as well, so that's fantastic. And then I felt I was just kind of playing around with things, and I thought I think it needs a bow as well. So again, with the same ribbon, I just had a little bit left, and it's just normal, you know, normal ribbon that I bought from Hobbycraft, not anything fancy. And I made a bow out of it, again using a YouTube tutorial that you kind of wrap the bow around your fingers to make it nice and equal. And then I decided to just stitch a little button on it too, and then stitch that onto the actual piece. I was thinking about trying to glue it, but it was just not going to stay put, so I put some stitches in it instead. And yeah, made it into a lovely little pillow which I could gift to her and that she can have on display. So that was my first FFO. My second FFO is again from the same designer, and is another one of the cacti, which I really thought was so cute. So this one is called Astrid the cactus, and I did change this up a little bit because I've changed the colour of the flower from reds to the same pinks that were used in Freesia the cactus. So again, this was a gift for my sister for Valentine's Day. As I have said previously, I always like to make her a little cross-stitch pillow, and I think I've done it for the last 3 or 4 years. So she's got a nice little collection now, and I think it's just a nice way to kind of share the sisterly love, and I really enjoy stitching Valentine's pillows, so it's a win-win for both of us. So this one I finished in a very similar way to the previous cactus, but I just I didn't put the fabric border around the edge. Instead I just used just sewed it normally and had the same fabric on the back. And again, had another go at the ribbon ruching because I actually really started to enjoy it. And again, finished it same way with the ribbon ruching, and then added a little bow with a nice little button as well. So she really liked that. I sent some sweets as well, so you can't go wrong with that. And that was her little Valentine's gift for 2026. Right, the next pieces I do actually have to show you in person, and I have Amy from All Things Cross Stitch 1 on Instagram, and she's also on Flosstube. I have her to thank for these designs because she shouted them out on her lovey-dovey February thing that she was doing throughout the month of February. So she had a wheel, and she had 14 different Valentine's projects, and each day she spun the wheel and picked which project she was going to work on. So she introduced me to these lovely patterns, and they are from a designer called Ringcat. And Ringcat has a Patreon page, although sadly she doesn't design anymore, but everything is still available on the page for you to download if you just sign up to the Patreon. It was less than £3 to get a whole host of about 270 different patterns. So well worth it if you're interested in any of these designs at all, and you'll see other designs that she's done on Amy's Flosstube as well. So the pattern I chose to stitch was this gorgeous little penguin. Isn't he cute? And my partner absolutely loves penguins, so I wanted to stitch this for him for Valentine's Day. And I only decided it last minute, so thankfully it was only a little quick stitch. And I have stitched it on a 32 count blue even weave, which I have hand dyed myself, did it a couple of years ago, and stitched it with all the DMC threads. I did do the back stitch for the beak, but I omitted the back stitch for the kind of under his flippers. I just didn't think it was necessarily essential to have it there, so I just missed it off. And yeah, finished this piece into a lovely little flat fold, which I think is my favourite way to finish things. I think it's so versatile, it's easy to store, quite quick to make, and I'm not the best on the sewing machine, and to be honest that's why I add trims and borders and different things to my pieces that I sew, because they're not always the straightest, but that's fine because you can add a trim and it hides all of those things. So yeah, I love making flat folds, and now I've got my Cricut machine. I can just put in the dimensions of the mount board that I want it to cut, and it just makes life so much easier. I'm not there having to cut it myself with a craft knife, so that's been a plus as well. So this lovely design I have mounted onto mount board with a bit of wadding underneath and laced it, and then I have made the flat fold, constructed it as I normally would, and then used this lovely starry kind of fabric, which I think was one of Aldi's special buys. As me and my partner love stargazing, and always look for the plough whenever it's a nice clear night and we can see some stars. That's about the only constellation we actually know. And so I thought this would be nice, and I felt that it kind of contrasts with the pink nicely as well. And then I did put some pink heart fabric, if you can just about see that, on both of the inside pieces. And I never used to do this with flat folds before. I always used to just use the same fabric on all of the all sides. But actually there was one time I was making a flat fold and I was going to run out of the fabric, so I decided to do kind of a complementary one. And actually I thought that worked quite nicely, because you can see, you know, the two contrasting colours there that tie the piece together. So I always do a nice little different interior piece now. So that's just fabric I had in my stash. And then I've used the good old chenille trim, which I talk about all the time, which I purchased from Create Nostalgia for about 65 pence a packet, and you get absolutely loads in there. And I use it for virtually all the pieces that I fully finish. And then a pink trim, again chenille trim from the same place, that just goes around the edge. The white trim is the slightly thicker one, so I think there's maybe a 3mm trim, which is this one, and then maybe 5mm, I think, for the outer edge. And to be honest, I ordered the thicker one by accident, but it's quite good as a thicker trim to kind of frame the piece. So yeah, that's my little Valentine's gift for my partner this year, and it just sits in his gaming room quite nicely. So yeah, I really love that little FFO. And then the final FFO I have to share with you, I don't think anyone has actually seen because I've not shared it on Instagram yet, but I've got my picture all ready to go, so it will be shared in the coming days. And this little guy, again, is from Ring Cat, another one from the Patreon that you can download. And yeah, I had a ball stitching this, although there was a lot of frogging involved because I wasn't happy with the colour of the fox initially, and then the colour of the heart I really struggled to get right because it was blending in to the colour of the fox. So yeah, I had to stitch that heart quite a few times, but this is stitched on a 32 count kind of forest green even weave, and I think, yeah, it's an even weave that I had in my stash. Not sure where I got it from, not sure forest green is necessarily the right name, but it looks like that kind of colour to me. And I finished this in exactly the same way, although I didn't put the trim around the edge because I didn't think it necessarily needed it. But as I've been doing a lot of wedding stitching, I've had a lot of the purples out. So I thought actually purple and orange go quite nicely. And as I say, I changed the orange of the fox to an orange that was a little darker. So I thought actually I'll go with the purple. So I stitched that up, and then decided that I really wanted a nice purple fabric to go with it, and found this in my stash, which I'm going to use a lot more of, because it's got gorgeous purple thistles on, and I thought it's got the green in it so it complements with the fox. And then if you look closely, it's also got little bees on it. I mean, that fabric was made for me for sure. Another little bee there. So this flat fold, if you compare the two, is a little bit smaller, even though the piece is a similar size, because I think with this one I left 1/2 inch border of fabric because I wanted you to see the fabric a little more, and whereas I only left 1/4 inch of fabric for this one. And then I did do the same border of 1/2 inch of fabric for both of them, but you can just see that the size is slightly different because of that. And then I didn't have this one in the thinner trim, unfortunately, but I just really love the colour, and I thought if I'm not going to put a trim around the edge, then a thicker trim isn't so much of a problem. So I think that one's called Plum, and it's honestly one of my favourite colours. I love it. So that went around the edge. Got my little green ribbon to hold it out as a flat fold, and then used a green complementary fabric on the inside because I thought it went with the green that's in the fabric piece at the back. Unfortunately I didn't have anything that exact shade of green, so it's not a perfect match, but it's good enough for me, and this one I did make for myself, so that one I can have out on display, and it doesn't have to be out just for Valentine's Day. I know it's got the little heart, but I thought with the purple fabric and the thistles and things, it can kind of sit out all year round. So that is my fourth and final new start / FFO. So I hope you enjoyed seeing all of those. Now we're going to move on to the 2 whips that I worked on. There isn't a huge amount to share with this one because I think I only worked on it for maybe a night or 2 at the most. So this one is by Heart and Hand. It's Big Hearted Tiny Town. I'm sure you've seen it everywhere. And yeah, it's a lovely piece. So I started this back in 2024 and I was hoping to get it done for this year, but I've just been busy doing other things, and wedding stitching unfortunately is taking priority. So I've done a little bit on it. I'll put a before picture in so you can see what it looked like the last time. And as I say, don't expect amazing progress because there isn't. But I've done some things. So this is stitched on a 32 count blue even weave, which I hand dyed myself. And if I come in a little bit closer, I think all I've done is put the tree in at this side and maybe the gate, and then I started working on the little house the other side. So I did have a good bit done of it already, but I adore it on this blue fabric. I think it's so cheery, and I love how the pink contrasts with it. And this is stitched with all DMC threads. So that is going to be a piece that I make into a little drum when I eventually finish it. So yeah, love that. And I love all the shades of pink, it's really pretty. So that's the first whip. The next whip I will show you on the board because it is massive. And if you've watched me before, you know I'm doing lots of wedding stitching this year because I want to try and make our wedding as kind of sentimental and meaningful as possible. So the piece that I'm working on for our wedding welcome sign as you walk into the wedding is by Vlada X Stitch, and I'm just calling it Wedding Welcome. And I will put a picture in of what it'll look like when it's finished. So it's a piece with names will be in the middle, and then it has some gorgeous flowers around the edge, and then a kind of gold border. So I wanted to change this up a bit because if I stitched it regular size, then it wasn't going to fit. It would be too small to make it kind of pop as a big welcome sign. So I decided to stitch it over 4, which call me crazy because I think it is a little bit crazy, but I'm actually really enjoying the process of it, although I've fallen out with this piece many times, and considering how much I've worked on it in February, I haven't really got the progress to go with that because I've unpicked and unpicked and unpicked because I just couldn't get the colours right initially. But I think I'm happy with where I'm at now. I put a picture in of what it looked like beforehand. There was hardly anything there, and I was still kind of working in progress of what colours I was going to use, because of course when you pick certain colours they do look so different when they're actually stitched on the navy. And I love all the wedding colours are navy and then different shades of purple, varying from like bluey purples to pinky purples, and then gold is the accent colour. And I really love kind of dark, rich emerald greens to counteract that. And I think that would look beautiful. But sadly, with it being stitched on navy, the greens can get a little bit lost. And I was trying so hard to try all the different greens out. But eventually I went for ones that I probably wouldn't have picked initially, but after lots of trial and error, I mean, who knew there were so many different types of green? You've got greeny greens, you've got yellowy greens, you've got grey greens, you've got bluey greens, and just none of them seem to look right. And the bit I'd stitched previously, I showed my partner and then showed him what I'd changed it to, and he went, yeah, that is better, because that first leaf, it looks like dying grass. And I thought, yeah, that's not what I want on my wedding welcome sign, is it? We're not going with the dying grass vibe. So we definitely moved away from the yellowy greens, and now we've gone with the bright, punchy, vibrant greens. So with that being said, this is what it looks like now. So as you can see, I unpicked the green that was kind of down here, and I've done a bit of the leaf, and then restitched it in the greens that I've chosen. But this has been a big headache to eventually decide what to do. So I adore those pinky purples as well. Again, stitched that flower, well, a portion of the flower a couple of times because again, I just hadn't got it quite right. The only bit really that's unchanged is this kind of bluey pink, bluey purpley flower. That's the only bit I was happy with. So it's been frogged multiple times, but I'm happy with where it is at the moment. And as you can see, I'm stitching it on a 28 count navy even weave with 4 strands of DMC thread over 4 squares. So the stitches are really big, but nice and voluptuous. So that is where we are at the moment. So I've made good headway now. The main thing was that I decided what colours I wanted to use. That was a big factor that needed to be overcome. And I think you can see all these greens quite nicely. They all work quite well together. And I'm happy with how it looks at the moment. And as you can see, when you stand back, it still has that same kind of wow factor of being able to see all the colours. So that is where we're at with that one. And I really hope to work more on this over March as well. This lovely needle minder I picked up at a craft fair in Edinburgh, went last week. And it's from Paraffle Embroidery. She does a lot of craft fairs and things. She's based in Edinburgh, and I just thought it was, although it's not a thistle I'm stitching, it's in keeping with the wedding colours, and obviously with having a Scottish wedding, I thought it would go quite nicely with this piece. So there we go. And in terms of wedding planning, we're getting on quite nicely. Booked a ceilidh band a few weeks ago, so we're going to have a full Scottish ceilidh at our wedding, which will be fantastic. All the groomsmen will be wearing kilts as well, and all the colours that I talk about are all based on my partner's kilt. So yeah, that would be fun. And still, you know, got plenty of things to do, and I've got an awful lot of wedding stitching to do, but the actual logistical things of the wedding are getting all sorted, and yeah, we're pretty much there with that. So yeah, it's nice to kind of have this to work on. And I'll show you the colours. So I ordered them from stitcher.co.uk, which I've never seen them advertised before, but I normally buy my threads from Thread For You. But when I get to haul, I'll talk to you about the DMC thread card which I ordered from them, because it was on offer and I couldn't refuse it really. So on Threads For You, the DMC threads are 92 pence a skein, I believe, whereas they're 99 pence on this website. So they are a little bit more, but I was going to save more by buying the thread card from them, so that's why I ordered them. So as you can see, look at these. These are my thread colours for my wedding piece and a lot of other wedding stitching. So I was able to get all of those, and these colours are just totally underrated. These ones here, so that one's 35. These kind of pinky purples. So I did 33, 34, 35 are all the colour of the flower. And then the greens are all the 900s. I think there's a 3818 in there as well. But generally kind of 909 to 913, I think it is, that I've used. And if you want any more information about the colours, then let me know. But I love the colours. So pretty. And even when I'm out and about now, I'm like, oh, there's my wedding colours. I'm like, it's a totally unrelated thing, nothing wedding specific. But yeah, I'm just in those colours now. And thankfully they're my favourite colours, so I won't get bored stitching with them, because that would be a problem otherwise. So that is wedding stitching. Now we are going to move on to the freebies. Sorry if I'm a bit sniffly, by the way. I've had a cold the last week or so, and I'm out the other side of it now, but still get a bit congested from time to time. So anyway, the freebies that I'm going to share with you, I've actually got more than 5, because there's a couple for each designer, well, 2 of the designers anyway. And as I say, I really had to narrow it down because there's been loads of amazing freebies out on Instagram and Facebook. And yeah, I try and share them as I find them as well on Instagram so other people can see them. But definitely go and have a look if you're in the market for some free patterns that will be quick to stitch up for spring. So the first designer I'm going to mention is Snowflower Diaries. She has got both an Instagram and a Facebook, and I think a website as well, but I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'll link her down below anyway. She's got quite a few freebies on there. There's a lovely rabbit one, which I'm not going to show you here, but that was quite nice. But the ones I mainly want to mention are Key to Spring Growth, which has got a lovely little bird and a key and some flowers, and I'm definitely going to stitch that as wedding stitching. Again, I'm going to change up the colours to the similar palette that I'm using, and I think that would make an adorable little pillow, probably with the nice ribbon ruched trim, I think. Really, really cute, pretty design. Hopefully wouldn't take too long to stitch up, and it's very generous of her to offer that as a free pattern. And then the other one, which I thought I maybe shared last time, but I don't think I have, is a lovely bird with some tulips, and it's called Spread the Love. So this was released more for Valentine's Day, but can be used for spring as well, because it's got the lovely tulips, as I have on display here. And yeah, I really love that design. Again, would make a gorgeous little pillow. The next one is a little bit different, but I'd never seen Leela Studio as having freebies previously. I know her from lots of her kind of Quakers, Halloween Quaker, and summer Quakers and different things. But she actually has got some free patterns on her website, so that's where I found this one. Again, all will be linked down below, and this is called For Thee, and it's more of a Quaker kind of design with lots of loved themed elements. Got some flowers, got some birds, really nice colour palette, and you could either stitch the whole thing or just take little elements from it. So I would probably take little elements and make small pillows with it, but I thought that was a really nice one to share as well. And then another one that was directly below that one on her website is called Moon and Back, and it just says I love you to the moon and back, and has got either some hearts or flowers around about it as well, which really, really sweet. The next one is a lady on Instagram called Stitched on Good Luck. I've not seen her Instagram page before, but definitely worth checking out. And her free pattern was called Spring Song. Again, lovely little bird. That seems to be the theme of a lot of these freebies. And some flowers. And yeah, again, would make a lovely little small pillow or a flat fold or anything really. Lovely piece, with fabric, and there's no end of the things you could do with it. So I want to share that one too. The fourth designer is a designer I only actually discovered a couple of nights ago, again when I saw their freebie, Samplers and Primitives, and it's got 2 underscores between the samplers and primitives, and this one is called Springtime. Again, really beautiful piece, lots of colour, vibrancy, perfect for the spring season as we eventually head into that in a not too distant future, and has a lovely little bird in it as well. And I just think it would make a really nice card, or again that would probably be a flat fold for me as well. I think really, really lovely design, and it's just wonderful that these designers are sharing all these things for free, and it's lovely to be able to support them by sharing it and encouraging other people to have a look at their work and hopefully buy some of their patterns too. So the final one is by Cute Patterns by Maria, and this is called Spring Mood, and this is a little bit different because it's to make little Easter eggs, and I always like the idea of dressing the flat up seasonally, although I'm not great at it because there's not that many pieces I've done for Easter at all. But I love the idea of little bunny rabbits and chicks and cute little kind of pastel coloured pieces. So these little eggs look quite quick to stitch up, and I don't know if there's a tutorial of how she finished them, but I'm sure you could probably work it out. And the actual stitch piece is the bit that's free on Instagram, but I haven't done any more digging to see if there's anything to do with the FFO process, but I'm sure we could work it out. And I just think they're really nice little Easter ornaments that could be displayed on a little Easter tree or given as gifts, or yeah, any number of things. So have a little look at those free patterns. So that's all the freebies I was going to share with you, but I'm then going to move on to the stitch along that I'm going to be part of, which is also a free pattern, so kind of in keeping with the freebie theme. And this is the Bunny Cell by Mirali, who is on YouTube, on Instagram and on Etsy. She's called Alina and is a fabulous cross-stitch designer. She has done this little bunny rabbit in lots of different forms. So there's like a St. Patrick's Day one, there's a Valentine's Day one, and then these are all these lovely spring pieces, and there's loads of different versions of it on her Etsy shop. But I saw this advertised on Instagram as a free stitch along, and it's hashtag Morali_bunnies_Sal. And it's running from the 1st of March up until the 30th of April. And I know I said I was going to not participate in any stitch alongs, but I think this is a really quick stitch along that I could easily finish within that time frame, and it would make a really lovely little ornament. As I say, I love stitching bunnies as well for Easter, so I thought this was just going to be perfect. So basically how it works, this is a lovely designer from Prague. She has got so much on her Instagram page and on her YouTube page as well. I felt really inspired after looking at her YouTube channel. But really, to participate in the stitch along, all you have to do is like and comment on the Instagram post, and she gives you 4 different options, and they're all called different things for the colour of the bunny. So I chose the tulip bunny because I love tulips and I love the pink. There's also a hyacinth bunny, and then I think there was a blue one and a yellow one, but I can't remember the names of them. So you just write down which bunny you would like to stitch, and then you share it on your Instagram stories and like her, subscribe to her YouTube channel, and then you can participate in the sale, and she'll send you half of the pattern, so the bunny, and then she'll send you the flowers separately once you've shared that you've stitched the first part of the bunny on your Instagram page. So I thought that was a really, really lovely idea. I've seen a few names that have been participating as well on the Instagram page. So I know Cross Stitch Sarah has signed up for it as well. I've not watched her latest Flosstube video, so I don't know if she's mentioned it yet, but that is definitely something I'm going to be participating in. And I think if you stitch that first pattern, you then get the opportunity to request other ones if you want to stitch all 4. And as I say, definitely go and check out Morali. So her Instagram is morali.hm, but I'll link it down below. Her YouTube is just Morali, and her YouTube channel is gorgeous. There's so many tutorials on there of how to finish things in lots of beautiful ways. She is very good on the sewing machine, unlike myself, and has made a gorgeous pillow, as you can see from the picture of what the final design will look like, with different fabrics, and she's finished it immaculately. Oh, it's well worth checking her out in general, even if you don't want to participate in the sale. So that is my shout out for Morali on Instagram, on Etsy, and on YouTube. Right, now we're going to move on to the Nashville Needlework Market top picks. Right, are we ready? So before I start talking through my top picks for Nashville, I just want to mention Astrid, who I absolutely love watching her Flosstube channel. She is Adorable Hobby on Instagram and on YouTube, and she is just amazing. She lives in Japan and has got so many wonderful fully finished objects. I'm really inspired by everything she stitches, and I feel like we have quite similar tastes. So we do kind of bounce ideas off each other, and I think, yeah, I really love watching her channel, and I think you should definitely go and have a look if you've not checked it out already. She posts lots of videos quite regularly. I think it's at least every 2 weeks, and she's done Flosstube extras and things as well. And the reason I'm mentioning her in this segment is because she's done a top picks that she's chosen for Nashville Needlework Market, and it was a really enjoyable video to watch and did enable me quite a lot with looking at designs myself. So yeah, go and have a look at that video if you're interested in other Nashville top pick videos. So initially, when I was kind of narrowing them down, as I said, I had a look on 123 Stitch, and I was on my night shift break, which is always dangerous, but I thought I'm just going to make a little wish list of the pieces that I like. There probably won't be many, but you know, we'll see how we go. And then I kind of added up how much it would cost if I ordered everything in my basket, and we got to about £350, and I thought, yeah, we can't be doing that. So I've had to narrow it down quite a lot. I've not ordered any of these. You can obviously pre-order them for when they're actually released at Nashville Market, which is, I believe, the 6th and 7th and 8th of March, whenever whatever that weekend is, the first weekend in March. So yeah, I have just done a wish list for now, and I will be very particular about which ones I actually order. But I wanted to show a top 5, but then I thought, no, it needs to be a top 10. So that's what we're going with. They're not really in any particular order, because I like all of them equally, but there's maybe one that I would definitely get and the others I would like to have. So the first one is by a designer. I've never seen any of her work before. She is called Cherry Blossoms, and I absolutely love her designs. They are beautiful. So many gorgeous colours, really bright and vibrant, perfect for springtime. And yeah, I've become quite obsessed with everything that she makes. So the first design that I'm going to talk about is called New Day. And I think it's just lovely. It's got a little house, it's got a little bunny rabbit, it's got flowers, and it's just that colour palette is absolutely beautiful. And so much so, when I was having a look through all her regular things that were on 123 Stitch, I also saw this gorgeous gratitude piece, which I think I've seen Charlie Feathers and Abby, the Stitching Cat Lady, have just started as a sal. I think maybe it's just the two of them, I'm not too sure. But I had never seen that piece before until I investigated her work on 123 Stitch. So although the gratitude one isn't a Nashville release, it's in keeping with, you know, the theme of a lot of these designs, and I definitely want to get that one. But I really love the Nashville release as well of New Day. Just think it's really positive, you know, nice outlook to have, and really beautiful pattern. The next one I definitely need to buy is called the Golden Apiary, and again Astrid showed this one and I literally had to push my jaw back up. I was like, that is so me, I need to have that, it's beautiful. And it is a gorgeous drum which has got a beehive on it and lots of bees around it and blue flowers. Oh, it's just so pretty, and it is by Summer House Stitchworks. So that is my number 2 pick, but probably the one that I will definitely buy because I think it's absolutely fabulous. It's lovely. The next one is pick number 3, Garden Goose by Erin Elizabeth Designs. I love all the things that Erin produces. It's got really kind of fun, bright, vibrant style. So many of her designs. I mean, there's loads and loads and loads. If you look on her website, it's amazing how much she's actually produced in the kind of short amount of years that she's been designing for. But the Garden Goose is a lovely little goose with a little hat on with lots of flowers, and yeah, it's just really lovely spring vibe. Would make a gorgeous little ornament, or, you know, a piece that was framed as well. Number 4 is Spring Alphabets by Jeanette Douglas. Again, this was another one of Astrid's favourites. And I really love this because I would want to make 4 separate drums. So the idea is it's a sampler for spring, summer, autumn, winter of all the different flowers, really bright and vibrant, lovely colour palette. And you could stitch them obviously as a whole piece, or you could just take each kind of band for each season and make a lovely little drum, which is what I would choose to do. So I was really keen on that one. The next one's a little bit different, trying to show a range of different designers. So the next one is Bubble Seahorse by X Stitch the Rainbow, and I love seahorses. I think they're absolutely beautiful little creatures, and I love the vibrancy and the bright colours used in this piece. I think it's so pretty, and lovely fabric choice as well. Number 6, again, I think I'm going to have to get this because it is stunning. This is called Raven's Harvest by Counting Puddles, and I think it's Lindsay from Counting Puddles, although it might be wrong. I once watched a meet and greet with her, either at the Jingle Ball or the Spring Mingle or one of those events, and just the amount of work that goes into every piece that she produces, you know, the specialty stitches and the different uses of threads and the colour palette, just absolutely beautiful. You know, it's not really any block stitching, it's all so intricate, and oh, I just love pieces that are just a little bit different, and that raven piece with the raven on the pumpkins is just breathtaking. I think, again, that has to be a piece that I definitely buy. Would look gorgeous for autumn and kind of the Halloween period, so definitely will need to get that one. Next one is by Hands On Design. It's called Make Today Count. And again, it's got a lovely little cottage, and I love little cottages. Lots of flowers around about it. I love the navy that it's stitched on. I think that really makes all the colours pop. I love everything that Kathy makes, and I was really keen on that one. So that is definitely a top pick as well. can't obviously have a top pick for Nashville without anything from Stacey Nash in there. So Olive, this gorgeous goose, is another animal cracker that she has produced. And if you've been living under a rock and don't know what the animal crackers are, they're all little animals dressed in different clothes, and they always have that in accompanying piece with them, whether it be a kind of needle book or something that the little character holds, or you know, some kind of embellishment. So I love this goose. I think it's so cute, and it's definitely one that I would like to purchase to go with my other animal cracker selection. I don't have any that I've actually finished yet, but I have got Ginger from the Jingle Ball of 2025, which I'd like to start, and I have got lots of others, especially Bobbin is one of my favourites of Stacey Nash's, so I would love to add that to the collection. Pick number 9 is the Stitcher's Garden Berries by Erica Michaels. Again, I've never made a berry before, but I had my first go at making a Christmas pear with the Jingle Ball from Annie B's folk art. So I'm quite keen on making anything kind of 3-dimensional, and I love the idea of making the kind of strawberries that Erica Michaels is well known for. But I really like these because it was all stitching related, so it was like count, stitch and something else. You'll see what it is in the picture, but yeah, I thought that was a really nice idea, and you could have them displayed in a little bowl and use fabric to do the little top bits and put pins in them, and I think that would be really pretty. And then last but not least is a kind of rogue choice, I guess, but I thought I'll go for something that not everybody might have seen, and in keeping with the 3-dimensional cross stitch idea, I really was drawn to this. So this is called Spring Astrid, and it is a turtle. I think it's a turtle rather than a tortoise. Maybe it's a tortoise. That is made of cross stitch, but it's got gorgeous purple flowers on it, and then it looks like you stitch each element and then sew it all together. And I think how gorgeous would it be with like a corresponding like purple fabric underneath, because I think the fabric they've used is kind of beige and like an off-white. It's quite plain looking, but like imagine a vibrant, bright, I don't know, pink or something that, or blue, something that would complement with the purple. I think that would be really beautiful. So that is by Ori TM, and it is a little bit more expensive, but I guess there's a lot of kind of construction and instructions involved within that piece. So definitely worth a look at that one as well. So that is my top 10 for Nashville Needlework Market. I say go and check out all the designs that are out there. There's loads on Instagram. Lindy Stitches has done some amazing videos, which I'm actually really behind on, showing all the new releases and, you know, selections from different designers that are exhibiting at Nashville. I mean, it sounds like the most incredible event, and, you know, it's obviously only for wholesale, but if there was ever an opportunity to go, I would love to. But sadly, that's not going to happen. But it just sounds like such an incredible event to have all these designers and beautiful patterns there for sale, and it's lovely that we can pre-order them and then buy them from the shops and support those businesses as well. So now we are going to move on to my cross-stitching haul, and I never actually looked if I bought any PDFs, but I don't think I have. I've just got normal physical haul to show you. But the first thing I want to talk about is this gorgeous thread card, which I purchased from Stitcher, as I mentioned, where I got the threads from, and I will link them down below, because I've always been put off buying this one because it was a little bit more expensive, and it's got the real thread DMC samples in it, so that's why it is obviously a little bit more expensive. And I've had the printed thread card for a number of years and I've been using that just fine, but then when I saw it advertised on the Stitcher website, for only, was it £23.40? I think RRP is about £27 or £30 roughly, and obviously you do have to pay postage on top of that. But I thought now's the time to buy it, because I'm doing so much more with changing up the colours of things, and especially with the wedding stitching, it's a nice easy way to kind of help me change the colours up a little bit. So I'll just show you inside. I was mind blown with this. It's so beautiful. I had to share a picture on my Instagram as well of it. But there you can see all the gorgeous thread colours. And basically it folds out like a booklet, and it just keeps going and going and going. But I can't really get the whole thing in. But it's absolutely fabulous. I love it. So if we zoom in closer, so you've got your Mulin special threads, so your pearl cottons and the different thicknesses of that, which is quite useful to have. We have got the beautiful variegated threads that DMC does. So you can see them all there, and then you've got all these ones that are toile, and yeah, there's quite a few of those, and then the kind of newer variegated ones, which are beautiful. Look at that highlighter green as well. So it's really good to see what the variegation will look like when you're stitching a piece. I was really drawn to the purple one, as you can see here, and these ones here, the pinks, really, really pretty. And then of course it goes through all the different greys and browns, and then yellows and greens. So basically all the greens I'm using on this page with blues, so I'm using this kind of colour palette here. So really helpful just to see at a glance what thread you might use. And then my favourite section obviously is the pinks and the purples, to fold this in back in right, which are breathtaking, really, really beautiful. And the ones I'm using are 33, 34 and 35 down here. So if anyone was in any doubt that they needed the actual thread card as opposed to the printed one, I would highly, highly recommend. I think it's so much easier. I feel like there's hardly any comparison, and considering I think the printed one I paid maybe about £14 for just about a tenner more, definitely go and get yourself this one. Well worth it. And as I say, I'll link it down below, and it's still on sale at the moment, so go and grab yourself one if you're interested in that. So now we're going to move on to my dimensions haul, which I'll just show you here. Yeah, as I said, panic bought a little bit because I was so scared that everything was going to disappear and I'd never be able to buy it again for a price that wasn't ridiculous. So yeah, that's my justification for having a little dimensions pile. And I did do a dimensions kit parade maybe about a year and a half ago or so. I think I might need to do another one to update what stash I actually have. So anyway, these ones are quite hard to find, and I found these on eBay, which I was delighted with. So I've actually got all of the others, and these were the last two that I was missing. So these are from 2010, and this is the wish ornament, and there's like a peace, joy, can't think what the other ones are, but there's 6 of them I believe. So I hadn't got wish, so that's what I purchased from eBay. And I hadn't, oh, Noel, I hadn't got Noel either, so I bought these from the same seller, again from 2010, full kit. So now I've got the full collection, which I'm really happy about. This one is called Tea Time, and I just got it off Vinted. Again, I think these were sold on Amazon previously, but they've stopped selling them now, or very limited supplies from what I could see. This is from 2021, so obviously one of the newer kits, and comes with a gorgeous hoop that's kind of got the fabric effect on it as well. This one is so cute. It's called Christmas Penguin, and as I say, my partner loves penguins, so I showed him this and he was like, oh, that is lovely. So it's just this Merry Christmas in his scarf. This is from 2020, so again a relatively newer one. It's got all the lovely threads in that. This one is another lighthouse one, so I've got the other lighthouse which has got more of the pinky flowers, but I really like this one too. This is called Beacon at Rocky Point, and I mean, I love Gold Collection Petites in particular. I think they're really small compact designs but have so much detail, and if you don't know anything about dimensions, they have very detailed patterns that are quite complex, but they use loads of different amounts of strands to give the real dimensions, I guess, of the piece. So you might be stitching with 3 strands or 4 strands or even 6 strands, and then other times you might be using maybe 2 strands but using that half stitch, and it just really creates a beautiful, beautiful picture. So that's from 2021, if I didn't say that. This one again was another find on Vinted. This is called Snowman and Reindeer. Look at his little face. And I was really drawn to this because of the little birds. the little cardinal, and obviously the reindeer there, and either the squirrel or I forgot what they're called, chipmunk maybe. Really, really pretty. This is from 2016 and it is called Snowman and Reindeer. So I think I already said that, but this one is just, it's not a full kit, it's just the pattern. This was again a vintage find, but I thought I can work out the colours and change it up, but I really could not resist that gorgeous peacock. Look at the beautiful colours in that, really, really beautiful. This is called Blue Peacock, and again is a petite doll collection. And then again, this came with the same package. This is called Stacked Teacups and is from 2018. Really pretty. And again, that's just the pattern. Then went down a rabbit hole again. Night shift is, you know, problematic for that. And I saw this design and I thought, oh, do I really need that? You know, I've got lots of Christmassy things. But then I thought, yeah, I do. So this is called Santa's Midnight Ride. And I feel like when you look at it initially, I don't really see too much. Like, it's a beautiful design, but it's only when I look closer and you see these gorgeous reindeers along the side of the sleigh, and then the little toys, and just the way the sky is. I just absolutely fell in love with it. So I purchased this from Arts and Design, which is a fabulous online shop in Dumfries, I believe, and they post that really quickly. There was a few issues with the post being delayed, but that wasn't their fault at all, it was just Royal Mail. But I'd highly recommend checking out their website for lots of different stitchy bits and pieces, because their customer service is exceptional. And I was just so drawn to this piece. It's absolutely beautiful, and I love it stitched on the navy, and just love the colours. This is a pattern from, let's see, I don't think it says the date on this one that I can see, obviously. But yeah, really lovely design. This next one was a vintage find. Again, got it for a good price because the packaging was a bit battered, but that doesn't matter because I'm not using the packaging. This is called Flowers of Paris and is obviously another Dimensions kit. And it's really, really pretty. I think I'd seen Lindsay from Blushing Pink Stitches buy this one, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I've been quite drawn to that, and I love tulips and the pinks. It's really, really pretty. So that again is a full kit. And then last but not least, we have this other lovely kit which I've looked at for a long time and never actually bought. But I love the idea of it being maybe two sisters, or, you know, I guess you could see it as like a mother and daughter or whatever. But I just thought it was really magical and really, really pretty. So again, got this off Vinted, and it is called Twilight Silhouette. And it is from 2012. And it's a full kit. And I think I'm just drawn to anything that's stitched on navy, to be honest. I just thought that was beautiful. So that is my last Dimensions kit. Not saying the last ever by any means, but I've got plenty in my collection now, but you know, they're, I feel like going to be heirlooms to pass on, and yeah, well worth, but it's a lovely collection to have. I really, really love my Dimensions kits, although I haven't really stitched many. I've maybe stitched one, but I definitely plan to, once all wedding stitching is out the way. I might even have a year of Dimensions or something like that, because I think they're wonderful. Right, pause you here and I'll just grab my next haul. The next haul I have to share is from 123 Stitch. So I did do a cheeky order there. This was back in January though. Was it January? Or maybe it hadn't come in yet, so I think there was a bit of delay with postage and stuff. But this one had just been released. This is called February by Fairy Wool in the Wood. And it's I think a 12-month kind of stitch along, I assume, where you can buy a little biscornu and then another little cross stitch piece, which you can see on the back there, for February. But as I say, I've wanted to learn how to make a biscornu, and I thought this biscornu was just really pretty, and I love roses as well. So I probably wouldn't necessarily stitch the love part, but I just like the biscornu, so went with that. So that is a nice little piece. And then this one I was really drawn to. This is by Crochet to Go Go, and is called Birds in Love. And I want to stitch this for my wedding as well. And again, maybe use purples instead of pinks. But it's so pretty, and again, probably would stitch it on navy. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So that's that one. And then I got this Be Happy, which I've not seen before. This is again part of a series. It's by Cottage Garden Samplings, springtime series, and it's little bees with hearts, again with a beehive, so you can't go wrong with that. And I would love to stitch this on that Duck Azure blue, or like the petrol green. That's what I got to do. I think that would really make those colours pop, and you'd see the whites of the wings a little bit more. And then this was the real reason I did a 1, 2, 3 stitch order, because I was doing an order from Mereshka in Ukraine, and this piece was going to push my total over the edge to get, you know, the customs fees and things would have been brought in if I'd have bought it from there. So I bought it from 1, 2, 3 Stitch instead, and it's called 20 Haunted Windows Pentagon Ball. And oh my god, I love it. Look at that purple. And it's all like little pieces that you stitch, and then you make this incredible pentagon ball. And it comes with all the embellishments, little ghosts and all the beads and everything. Oh, it's so fabulous. And the thing with Just Nan is that I think she's been quite unwell recently, because I had some little mice Just Nan pieces that were on, or are still on back order from July of 2025 that haven't come into stock again yet. So Just Nan pieces are often quite hard to get, so I think this one's probably in stock because this is a relatively new design. But I feel like Just Nan's one of those designers that if you love it, I feel like you've got to just buy it when you see it, because you don't know when it's going to go out of stock again. So still waiting for my little mice, but I really love this one, and again love the challenge of it all, and I just like things that are a bit different. And this is definitely in that category. So that is all my haul from 1, 2, 3 Stitch. Now I will show you other little bits of haul. Again, I know I've said about, I wasn't ever doing the Stitch from Stash, but I was trying to reduce my spending. But you know, it's been winter time and I just wanted to just buy these things. So that's what I've done. I'll try and curtail the spending after Nashville Needlework Market maybe. This is a lovely little find on Vinted, and is a lovely little bird. It's kind of umming and ahhing about it for a while, but I sent them a little offer and she accepted it. So it's a full kit, and it's a Rico design little kit called Tea Time. So that was really pretty and would look gorgeous in like a really small frame, because I've got quite a few little tiny frames, so I thought that would look quite nice. Then this little hedgehog from Vinted as well. This was only like £1 or so. This is by Sarah May Designs. I've got a few of her kits already. But look at the little hedgehog saying hi to the butterfly. And it's got the threads in it too. I just couldn't resist that. Beautiful. This was another Vinted find. This is called Be Joyful, and it's got bees and flowers. So what's not to love about that? Again, I could maybe stitch this for our wedding, change it up to purples. I just thought the design was really sweet. And that's by Country Cottage Needleworks. This piece is by Lavender and Lace. This was one that I got in a bundle. I like the designs anyway. I love that rose. But you got a percentage off if you bought a couple of patterns. So I thought I'll go for this one as well. Love the pansies too, but it was the rose that really attracted me. So say by Lavender and Lace. Not sure a year or anything, but nice little design. This one I have stitched by Imi to thank. I had also seen it on Cross Stitch Jess as well. Ages ago. I'm behind on her Flosstube too. But she had stitched this, or was stitching it, and I was really drawn to it. It's a French designer. It's called Nimu by Fee Main, and it's a gorgeous little fairy. It's called Fairy Dust. And again, I would probably change the colours and make it a little bit more vibrant, but I just thought it was a really cute, beautiful design. And I don't mind doing backstitch at all. I think it really enhances the piece. And although it's not the most fun thing in the world to do, I think I love the effect that it gives, so it's worth doing. So really pretty back to it as well with different designs. So I actually purchased this after Emmy mentioned it on her channel when she was showing her pattern stash, which was a really great video to watch as well. Go and check it out if you haven't already. And she was saying that she got this from Sparklies, Kate at Sparklies, and Sparklies are known for doing fabric dyeing as well. And I have maybe bought, I think, 1 or 2 things from Kate before, but it's really handy. You go on the website and you look for the chart that you want, and then she'll have a spreadsheet that shows you what the price is and how many are in stock, and then you just email her and she'll send you a PayPal request or whatever, and you just pay like that and she'll post it to you. So that was that piece. I was really pleased to get. This one I only picked up yesterday, but it was a vintage find, and I know Sean talks a lot from Periwinkle Stitcher, I had to think for a second there. They're about the Stitchery sisters. So Nikki Franklin, who does all the embroidery, and then I think, is it her sister Sarah? Yeah, who does the cross stitch designs. And look at this little penguin. And as I've said many times in this video, we love penguins. So this is Pierre, the penguin, and this was just like the leftover threads in the chart. So that was a lovely little vintage find, and I can't wait to make a little pillow out of that one. That was beautiful. And then Abras art, which are Ukrainian as well, and I'm going to talk about my Ukrainian haul in a minute, but I'm not actually going to show you. I'm going to do it in a separate video. But their kits are quite expensive to buy, to get over to the UK, unless you buy them through a Ukrainian website. I think you can get them on Etsy as well, but the price is a bit more. So when I saw this on Vinted, I was like, I need to buy that. And there's still quite a few left if you're interested in Abras art, all the beaded kits as well. So go and have a look on Vinted for that. But this is just a cross stitch one, and it is called Spring Roses. And again, I thought when you look at it up close, like there's a lot of colour in there and you can see a lot of half stitches and, a lot of detail. But I feel like when you hold it back, it just looks so effective. I just think it's wonderful. So that was another handy little find. And yeah, I think there's, and it's French knots. I thought it was maybe beads. But French knots and the roses too. But again, thought it was a little bit different. So I was really drawn to that. I think don't need to explain myself as to why I bought this one from Vinted as well. This is a previous cotton and twine design from April of 2024, and it is Be Creative. And I love seeing this on Pam, Ditsy Daisy Crafts, her Flosstube channel. It's always sitting up behind her, and yeah, every time I've watched her videos, I thought, maybe I should get that piece. It's very me. So yeah, decided to get that when I saw that on Vinted. This was on eBay, and I don't normally recommend, if you're going to buy a magazine, you should really buy the magazine as a whole rather than buying, like individual charts, because obviously it's not that person's design to share. But I could not find this anywhere else, and I had a look at all the pictures and tried reverse image searching, found that it was from a 2006 cross stitch collection magazine, which I could not find anywhere to buy. So because I wanted to do it for my wedding on this occasion, I did buy it, but I wouldn't normally recommend doing that. I always try and buy the magazine in its entirety. But I was really drawn to this lovely design, the sweet peas with the bees. Again, wedding colours. As soon as I saw it, I thought, it needs to be mine. So that's really pretty. And then you can't really see it too well because of the page break. But there's also this gorgeous one, which is foxgloves. I don't know if I can even... It's probably best there. You can see a little snippet of it. So similar kind of vibe, but it's all foxgloves instead. And these are designs by Caroline Palmer. And as I say, it's from Cross Stitch Collection, September 2006. And I just fell in love with them. I thought they were absolutely beautiful. And then in keeping with the purple theme, I found this other designer who, again, is out of print, so really hard to get her stuff. But there was a seller on eBay who's a charity, I think maybe a hospice shop or something, that was selling a lot of kits for only about £10, and there's quite a few in the the series, but these ones my favourite. So again from 2006, so 20 years ago, which is crazy. But these kits are in immaculate condition, and this one is called Iris. Again, I think you can see why I bought this, because I love purple so much. And I thought this was just amazing on the wall. Again, I changed the fabric up, but I thought that was breathtaking. Look at the colours in that. Absolutely beautiful. And then to go alongside that, because I thought the two would look nice together, I got the Stargazer Lilies, or just called Lily, by Sheila Hudson. Again, I couldn't resist this. So stunning. And the only other one I'm after is the hydrangea, because I think that would make a really beautiful set with the pink one in the middle and then the hydrangea and iris either side. But unfortunately, I did find it on Vinted, but it was like a big bundle for £50 or £60, and I couldn't really justify paying for the bundle when I just wanted the one kit. So I'm gonna keep looking for that one. But yeah, let me know if you happen to see it out in the wild somewhere. So it's Sheila Hudson, and it is the hydrangea kit. So really delighted with them. This was a little booklet that I got from the charity shop just for a couple of pounds. But I was mainly drawn to Winnie the Pooh with the bee. I thought that was quite sweet. Then there's Eeyore and Pooh Bear there, Pooh and Piglet, and then Tigger is at the back. It's got some threads in it, I think, from other little kits, but it is just mainly a booklet. Sorry, sniffles there. And then next I have my haul from Talking Dog Stitchery from Rachel, and I never thought I'd end up having this chart, because as you well know, Lady of the Flag is a chart that is highly sought after and sells for hundreds and hundreds of pounds on eBay. But because of the 250 years of, I think it's of American independence, they have, the company that released these charts, have printed a select few of Queen of Freedom and Lady of the Flag. And again, I never thought I really wanted it, but then since going to New York and seeing the Statue of Liberty for myself and just experiencing the museum and absolutely loving it, I decided that I really would like to have it. So Rachel had maybe about 20 or so in stock, so I was one of the lucky ones that managed to purchase one. So this is by Mirabilia, and it is Lady of the Flag, and I think it's absolutely fabulous. And I'm part of the Mirabilia Facebook page that does the conversions, and there's a conversion to the kind of oxidized coppery colour that the Statue of Liberty actually is, that kind of turquoisey grey kind of colour, instead of the yellow. So I think I might use that conversion to change it up to look more like the Statue of Liberty. But it just reminds me of our fabulous trip to New York, and yeah, I just think it's a lovely piece to have. So that is by Nora Corbett, and it's Lady of the Flag. Really pretty. Then alongside that, I couldn't, those couldn't travel alone, so I got the Stitches Trio by Primrose Cottage. And look at the little house, and it's more the spools either side that were like flower pots that I was totally obsessed with, and the Scornu and the Stitches Gonna Stitch pillow as well. I did get all three designs in this one little booklet, so that was well worth it. And I think this one was on sale. This is by the Primitive Hare, and it's called Woodland Stitchy Friends, and it's called the Hedgehog. It's a little hedgehog with a witch's hat on, doing some cross stitch. What's not to love? So yeah, that is all my stitchy haul, and I'm just going to grab a couple of other kind of finishing idea bits to finish the video. Just before I show you the finishing ideas, I just want to allude to a new video that I'm going to do, which is going to be all about my Merezhka haul, which I purchased from Ukraine. And I'll just give you a little sneak peek of one of the things, maybe two of them, that I want to do a proper kind of unboxing video to show you everything that I bought, because I've also got these two bags of beautiful Ukrainian cross stitch kits, and I felt if I just popped it in here, we might get lost and we wouldn't appreciate the true beauty of all these kits. So I'm going to do a separate video, I might even film it today, which will be up in the coming days after this video is published, for you to see more about my Merezhka haul. So that was a little sneak peek for you, but I'll go into more detail about all the kits I bought and then the contents and, you know, how you order from Merezhka in Ukraine as well. So that was just a little sidebar. So the last few things I have to share with you are little finishing things. So these little frames that I picked up from the charity shop. Just a little white frame, which I thought would be quite good for winter stitching. And then this was from TK Maxx, and I thought would be really good for Christmas stitching. Obviously, if you buy out of season, you often get things for a good sale price. So that's why I got those. And then today I just happened to pop to Morrison's, and they've got lots of Mother's Day stuff out. And you know, when you see things and you think, you know, it's obviously meant to be decorative and for mothers and grandmas and all sorts, but I always just think of cross stitch. So I got this fabulous little house, which I really love the flowers around about it. It's really pretty. And it says grandchildren spoilt here, but obviously it doesn't relate to me. But I love the fact that this is a hanging house, and I thought there's no end of cross stitch ideas that, you know, could go on here. And you could either just kind of cover this bit up and keep the gorgeous border, or you could paint it and then or decoupage it or whatever you want. These were only £2. It's obviously plain on the back, so you could just use the back side. But I thought for really thick wood, really great little ornament that would be a nice finishing idea. And then there was also this fabulous butterfly that says home is where mum is, but again has a hanger on it, plain on that side, and has the flowers on that side. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with them yet, but if I do think of something and I do have the time, I'll try and do a little video of how I go about fully finishing something on these kind of items. So yeah, that was all I wanted to share. I can't believe feel like that was quite a long video, sorry about that, but I was just so excited to share everything. And again, I feel like I should do videos more regularly, but I just don't have the time with work, unfortunately. The work schedule is, you know, quite full on at the best times, lots of night shifts and things. Life-wise, I know I don't normally do life updates anyway, but as I've been doing more wedding planning. Went to a wedding fair yesterday with my future mother-in-law, and had a really lovely time, and found that you can actually hire alpacas for weddings. I was quite tempted, but yeah, maybe not quite in the budget for that, but I thought it was a nice idea anyway. And I'll put a picture in because they wear bow ties. Oh, so cute. So that was, yeah, there's always, anytime you go to a wedding fair, I feel like there's always weird and wonderful ideas that you think, do I need that? There's also a fire breather. There was also magicians. You know, it's no end to the things that you can have at a wedding. So that's that, yeah. And yeah, just been plodding along with my work and wedding stitching, and you know, trying to keep things organised. And thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate all your support, all your lovely comments. Anytime I get a comment, it really makes my day. And I say, feel free to comment down below. Look out for the Ukraine cross-stitching shopping kind of haul video, which will be coming soon. And as always, feel free to like, comment and subscribe. And I know everyone's been mentioning this hype button now, which again I need to investigate myself, but I have hyped 1 or 2 videos, and I think it just kind of pushes you up the leaderboard a little bit, that you're more likely to be shown as the kind of recommended viewing. So if you really enjoyed this video, feel free to hype me and yeah, see if we can get on the leaderboard, and you know, just helps with exposure to the video being seen by more people. So as ever, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I will see you for my next Flosstube update at the beginning of April. Take care, happy stitching, bye!